Now, our next speaker has been instrumental in major digital transformations globally and is here to share her proven strategies on how you define success and truly move the dial with a composable approach. Please welcome to the stage Meriel Neighbour for her presentation, Moving the Dial with Composable Commerce. Meriel, the stage is yours.
Bright lights. Good morning, everybody. So today I will be talking you through a journey demonstrating how composable commerce can be delivered as a seamless, unified customer experience through what I believe are the 7 steps of success, enabling your future evolution as you continue your journey of change beyond your current composability to that of combined agentic AI. I think we're all familiar with the Nokia 3210 on the left-hand side and the fact that years ago, all you could do was send and receive text messages or make and receive phone calls. And in a very short period of time, that changed to the Android and iOS device on the right-hand side. And that gives us fully flexible and the ability to scale services and functions which can be removed or added at any moment in time with minimal effort, and really has started our truly composable journey. Composable doesn't just exist online. It stretches in-store, from B2B, marketplaces, wholesale, and virtually any other channel that you want to sell a product through. From our toy-like tills, these are real tills that we had. And yes, they probably were from the 1900s. Through to now fully unified, on the right-hand side, the sell anywhere, at any time, mobile connected, joining delivery for a true omni-customer experience. But why would you actually start such a journey? There are stats that McKinsey put out there that actually say 67% of all projects fail. And Holly said earlier, what was it, 98% or something of projects in the AI world also fail. 55% of your projects will exceed the budget that you first set out to spend. 55% will extend their timeline, and therefore you won't realize the benefits when you want them. And 40% don't meet the expected quality in terms of the delivery. So there is a big decision to be made. And it's really important that that first step is convincing the senior leadership within your business and the board that making the change is the right thing to do. Enabling the change through fully composable commerce technology, allowing you to iterate and change whole or individual elements where the business have highlighted problems that they need to resolve. These are some of the challenges that you face in any kind of transformation. And the ones that are called out most regularly when you start the journey are top center, performant integrations. And Holly talked about those as the basis of our MACH Alliance. And then in the middle there, the complexity of new technology. And it doesn't have to be complex. This is the impression that people have when you start to take them on their journey. So what will a composable platform actually deliver? In today's world, the single monolith solution, limited functionality, it's desktop first, it has limited payment options, and is very slow to be able to change. It's hosted on a dedicated server, which means that when you get to peak periods, it doesn't scale with the peak of your business demand. And it's multi-channel. Retail and digital actually coexist. And what Composable enables is a move to the right-hand side with microservices-based architecture, where you have endless functionality. It is mobile first, and it's fast to change or add to at any point in time. It is a cloud-native solution, And that will enable you to serve capacity on demand at any moment in time and is fully scalable. And it becomes connected commerce, providing a seamless, unified experience for every customer and every employee. But where do you start? For success, I believe you have to begin with the end in mind. The business must understand all elements of the transformation, what the goals are, and the impacts both during and as an outcome of your transformation, which will affect operations and commercial trading. These are the 7 steps that I believe you need to make sure you're aligned with right from the get-go. Eradicating silos. The top must align the business problems that they need to solve with the company strategy. It has to be agreed by all departments to ensure that there is a non-contested route to success. This must be cascaded with a single message, a single voice throughout the business. If any department does not align, this will disrupt the whole project and potentially reverts back to one of those causes of the failure of the overall company strategy and performance and your project. Number 2, align your strategy. If the strategy is incorrect, then regardless of the technology or the implementation, it will not resolve the problems that the business has identified. Do not make the decision lightly. Give everyone a voice from which to achieve those common goals, your common objectives, and align throughout. Number 3, decide what you want to change. Where is your biggest value add? Transformations might touch every single system that currently exists with major or minor impact, and these must be understood upfront, and the impact that they may well have on current and future operations. This is a simple architecture view, but it is not necessarily the simple state of what you're going to go through in terms of a transformation. In this example, we were not going to touch SAP. SAP was an ECC6 old setup, and we hadn't anticipated having to move to S/4HANA. However, to enable our transformation, we needed to lift and shift an enormous amount of our SAP stack in order to actually be able to trade as an outcome of our composable journey. So please make sure that you understand all elements that need to be touched throughout your transformation. This was the spaghetti that we started with. Over 450 different applications. None of them necessarily performant in terms of integration, some run by batch, some that you couldn't update for 24-hour periods. And this was our challenge, that we had to overcome and reduce the complexity and create the ease of integrations to be able to plug and play for the future. So these 450 different applications became 250 applications through our composable journey. And this reinforced API-first integrations and enable us to have real-time updates throughout a customer journey. Number 4, one vision, one goal, one focus, and one team is imperative. Plan well, set your scope. Allow for unknown unknowns. We all know the term that you open the can and all the worms come out. So be prepared. Recruit SMEs to augment your existing teams. Be clear on roles and responsibilities, goals and outcomes, and communicate the same and deliver the same with laser focus through one team mentality. Next, choose your partners to simplify the complexity. Through our composable journey and our transformation, we had 3 different SI partners that all needed to work with one another. We had products that we had to have very challenging conversations with because we were going to get rid of them through our journey. And we were adding over 30 products, all of whom needed to understand their role and how they fitted into our overall puzzle for success. So what I'm going to say to you is relationships, relationships, relationships. Right from the start, share your goals, objectives, and outcomes. Ensure partners are clear of their roles, their responsibilities to your success, and the value add that you expect from those partners. Number 6, create the right environment. Imperative for success are trust, transparency, communication, and collaboration. These 4 elements are absolutely critical to your success. If one fails, they all fail. Your transformation fails. They coexist across all elements of the business at the same time as the total team involved in the transformation, big or small in terms of the part that they play. Like families, you will have disagreements throughout your journey, but you must maintain true to the common goal and objective that you have as an outcome. And finally, number 7, begin your journey of change at the beginning. One of the biggest challenges in any transformation is change and the impact on business operations, your operating model, your ways of working, the skills required for the new tooling that is being delivered. So ensure that at every step, the what, the why, the how, and the when is shared with all affected teams, ensuring your smooth transition. How do you do that in terms of global transformation? Having aligned your critical components, how quickly can you make that change? Do you iterate, as Holly suggested, or do you go big bang? There are many factors which influence that decision. And I think we will probably all agree that iteration is the best way forward. However, in my world, we had to go big bang. So, how long did it take us to deliver? In 2020, we had outdated and unsupported, inflexible, monolithic platform that we couldn't do anything with, and every time we wanted to make a change, we lost up to 10 hours of trading globally, which obviously impacted sales and performance. We started a POS and OMS project in February 2022, and we started an e-commerce project in May 2022. Each of them went through a discovery period. The e-commerce project started build in October 2022. Unfortunately, the POS and OMS project went slightly wrong, and it was then brought into my remit to run concurrently with e-commerce from December 2022. With our restricted timelines due to risk and compliance issues, we had to be live in the US by August 2023 with POS and OMS. Otherwise, we would have to shutter stores and stop trading. Therefore, I had 7 months at the same time as still continuing with the e-commerce project to launch US, Canada, and Puerto Rico with POS and OMS in August 2023. So we started after we came back from our holidays in January 23, we started build, and we went live with the first stores in August, on August the 2nd, 23. 4 weeks later, we had to have completed the rollout of all of those stores in those countries to be able to then launch e-commerce. We literally were going to be switched off in December the 23rd, 2023. They would come in and literally switch off the on-premise servers, and we would cease to trade. So we had to be live in order to trade peak and get some kind of stability before peak. So we had to be live in e-commerce in September 23 in our main markets, the UK, US, Canada, and the Republic of Ireland. But within 4 weeks of that go live, we then had peak trading, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and on through the Christmas period. So that 40% of the sales in the UK were generated from an omni journey. So we had to deliver the whole omni journey in terms of POS and OMS by October 23. So we had 4 weeks to roll out 670 stores to be able to get that live before we could go into peak trading. Then from January 24, we started to evolve our European journey. We wanted to then be fully payment localization and fully translated in 5 key European markets and an additional 35 European countries. Plus, we had to roll out the remainder of the POS across the remainder of the UK and Irish stores. That all completed by April 2024. And we had really weird deadlines. For example, contracts were signed for those European countries on Easter weekend. So we had to go live on Easter weekend. Who would choose to go live over a bank holiday? We then had to establish the launch of our CI/CD, continuous improvement, continuous development, that optimization and evolution that Composable Commerce enables for you. And so on through that journey. On the left-hand side, you can see what we achieved through our composable technology. We built a platform to innovate and add additional functionality to aid growth and efficiency for our future. We developed something that had the ability to reuse the same technology, so therefore we were able to launch Europe very, very quickly after our main. We have had 0 downtime. 0. We used to have to take, every time we did a deployment, we used to take the site down by 10 hours. 10 hours of global trading lost. Not one moment. Our site speed went from over 2 seconds in checkout to sub 1 second. We have cloud-based, so it's fully scalable, that flexes up and down with your peak and your demand. And that means that our costs also flex in that regard as well, rather than one fixed cost as we go through. And we developed and delivered a true omnichannel capability. Physical and digital became a unified journey. But what did that actually enable? So within 6 months of that go live, we then delivered all the items on the right-hand side because of the ability to keep augmenting, updating, evolving your composable stack. We added in social commerce. We improved our delivery options. We enhanced the video capability online. We extended to Asian markets. We returned tracked. We developed a resale platform. We developed a true fit system. We added in CRM and loyalty, a single-click checkout to make it even easier for people to buy. We extended through marketplaces. We had a post-purchase experience. We added additional omni-payment methods. And we went through email marketing and personalization, none of which would have been capable with our monolithic stack. The benefits in terms of using an applied MACH principle architecture. Reduced time to build. Iterative deployments were capable. We deployed up to 2, once we'd gone live, we could make 2, 3, 4 deployments every single week if we wanted to, with no downtime. We had performant API-based integrations. We had real-time updates and real-time inventory that meant that we were always going to be able to service our customers' demand. Clean data that Holly referred to is imperative in terms of that setting up for the journey in the future. All sites were fully translated, including all the way through checkout and beyond. Our architecture had been simplified from those 450 applications to 250. Trade data for the business was in real time at any moment in time during the day. We had one single source of truth for our data, whether it be product, customer, delivery, or stock. We improved, importantly, our customer experience, but likewise our employee experience. And AI benefits were built in or capable of being added on. The scalability of quick to market, all of those additional markets and volumes, and the flexibility for add-on features and capabilities at pace for our future. The metrics that we typically measured: increased number of sessions, the site speed as I alluded to, the add to basket numbers, the start of checkout, the conversion percentage, the average selling price, and the gross margin. And almost instantly, overnight, all of those improved. And it wasn't just a spike straight away. Those have consistently improved. They didn't even go up and then level off. They have continued at that same level all the way through. But if we did it all again, what did we learn as we went through? And what can I take away into the next transformation that I'm now working on? Checkout, the most complicated area. Build it first. We didn't in this transformation, and it could have been the one thing that caused us to delay and miss that crucial peak trading period. However, we achieved it, but it was stressful. Build checkout first. We also had an experience 2 weeks before go live. A lovely individual decided they were going to do something, and our single page checkout went from sub 1 second to 13 seconds. Imagine how many customers would not have checked out with us. We were up until, literally, we started work at 6 o'clock, we were up till 2 o'clock the next morning, working back every step to find where that problem was. Thankfully, we found it. We weren't nasty to the individual, but we told them not to play again. SEO. The impact of SEO, if you get it wrong, is a 30% drop immediately from the moment you go live. So spend quality time in terms of determining your SEO. Product taxonomy, hierarchy, critical to your data and making sure that you're going to have the right setup and then that data clarity as you move forward across many systems, including your financial reconciliation. Finance will love you if you set that up properly. Early HR involvement, there's always impact and change. More time to adopt new tooling and ways of working. Make sure you use agile principles in your delivery, and make sure you celebrate success better. We were on such a steamroller of a timeline, we didn't really have time to celebrate our success, but make sure you do that. Finally, where is the future, and can it be delivered now? We talked about the MACH Alliance and MACH X last week, and the evolving world of AI and agentic AI. We, as customers, expect the products to have performant AI built in as they evolve on their journeys as we move forward. However, in terms of a transformation and the delivery lifecycle, where can AI help us as we move forward? The writing of user stories, test scripts, test automation, project plans, the data models driving real-time accuracy of queries, risk and dependency management, code quality, architecture. The result, based on our transformation, would have been a 40% reduction in our implementation costs, plus a 4-month expedited delivery timeline for us to be able to realize benefits sooner, faster, not just for us as a business, but for our customers as well. The future is AI. We do have a few minutes left, so if anybody does have any questions, I am happy to take any questions, or you can grab me in the foyer during any breaks.
Yeah, that was a really great session on what to keep in mind. I had a quick question.
Go for it.
Yeah, you mentioned those 4 pillars of being crucial for creating the right environment. Which one did you find was the most difficult to build or maintain within your organization with this type of a transformation? Because all those seemed like a really important to me, but...
We go back to them.
Yeah, maybe we should go back and show the... Yeah.
Oh, go back.
Not long. Here.
For me, goodness gracious me, for the business, communication is the most important. And I think if I'm talking about me leading that transformation, collaboration is the most important. But from collaboration, you have to communicate.
Yeah.
And it is imperative still to have that transparency and trust. As I said, like families, you will fall out and have disagreements all the way through your journey, but you have to be able to maintain that focus to come back to your true objectives and goals.
Yeah. Really interesting. And of course, it makes sense that you need all to be in place.
Yep, 100%. Cool. Thank you very much.
There's a question here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for the talk. I had a question about, you said it's absolutely imperative to break down silos. How did you work on doing that?
How did I break down the silos? I probably gave my CEO quite a strong talking to and made it very clear to him. I also spent a lot of time with that C-suite in terms of getting them to understand exactly what we were going to go through and how it was going to impact them in what they wanted to do while we were going through that transformation, because it meant that they weren't going to be able to do perhaps some of the things that they wanted to do, but they had to be aligned to the outcomes of what we wanted to achieve. So a lot of talking, a lot of communication, taking the business through town halls so that everybody knew on a regular basis what we were up to, where we were up to, and demonstrations. So we gave, at any tangible point in time, we gave demonstrations so people could be taken on that journey and start to see everything come to life. But breaking down those silos is hard, and it's probably one of the hardest parts of a transformation, especially when we had a board that couldn't speak English. And I'm trying to explain stuff, and I had somebody translating, going blah, 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 like this in my ear while I'm trying to talk at the same time. That was really challenging as well.
Well, yeah, good.
Just going back to that slide around your partners, I was wondering how you selected the partners that you work with.
So when we first looked at that sort of RFI, RFP process, we looked to the MACH Alliance. We wanted that guidance from a trusted organisation, and we wanted to embark on our journey through what I term the MACH stack. So we looked for all of the products that we were looking to change through the MACH Alliance. We then did our comparisons, just like you would do through an RFI, RFP, where there are multiple vendors within the alliance that offer the same product and functionality. But that's where we wanted to go. We wanted that composable journey. We wanted to deliver fast. We had timelines that we had to adhere to.
Good. If
Cool.
there's no more questions, thank you, Meriel,
Pleasure.
for
Thank you.
that presentation.